As a viewer, it's great. A lot of football. I got goosebumps at one point when you sort of relive David's career and you forget how much he's been through the ups and downs. It's quite emotional, it's touching. You get an insight despite thinking you kind of don't need to know anything more about the Beckhams. There is stuff that you didn't know, which is really interesting. And it's just a fascinating sort of family insight into what it means to them to be parents and to weather the various storms that they have. And Victoria's surprisingly funny, kind of steals the show, I'd say. It's pretty sort of warts and all. I mean, obviously, he's not being thrown under the bus, but at the same time, they don't skim over issues that you might expect them to.
Every football fan sang this song.
Posh Spice takes it up the
It's really, really honest. A guy called Fisher Stevens produced it, who's an Oscar-winning director, and he asked the hard questions that you don't think they're going to answer, and they do.
Would you say that was the hardest time in your marriage?
100%. It was the hardest period for us because it felt like the world was against us.
They don't sort of hold back, really. They don't name names, but they talk about it, they describe it, both of them, as the hardest period of their marriage, that they had to weather the storm.
Yeah, we felt that, I think we both felt at the time that we were not losing each other, but drowning. That's probably the funniest moment in the documentary for me. It was when Victoria was having C-section to give birth to Cruz, their third son, and she tells David, look, you need to be by my bedside at whatever date.
And he said, yeah, the thing is that I can't do that because I've got to shoot. I said, what do you mean you got to shoot? Yeah, I've got to do a photo shoot with Jennifer Lopez and Beyonce.
Relive France '98 when he gets sent off with the kind of kick against Diego Simeone, who also features in the documentary and admits that he hammed it up and he dived, basically. You've kind of forgotten what he went through. I mean, there were effigies of David Beckham being hung outside London pubs. It was a really, really nasty time. He was being spat at in the streets, he said. He said his physical and mental health suffered, he couldn't eat, he couldn't sleep. He's pretty honest about it. And then you kind of forget it because of the goal against Greece and how he was sort of lionised once again. So yeah, you really do see the highs and the lows. And he does open up about the toll it takes, which I don't think any of us really appreciated at the time. I think they have a likability, which unless you're really, really cynical, you kind of can't not acknowledge. They're two working class kids done well, and I think to knock them for being aspirational is a little bit mean. They come across really, really well. Like I say, Victoria is actually surprisingly witty. David jokes about being thick, but actually you can't be thick and make that much money and be that sort of talented on and off the field. So I think they come across really well, and it's worked out well doing this, taking this punt and doing this documentary. They seem really annoyingly, sickeningly in love. They're very happy. You see in the last scene, they're dancing in the garden, he's clutching a beer. They're dancing semi in time to Islands in the Stream, and that kind of chemistry, unless they're the best actors in the world, which I think we all know they're not, you can't fake.